Today, we have an incredibly exciting story that will keep you on the edge of your seats until the very end. If you are a fan of stories filled with events and thrilling details, then you are in the right place. Grab your favorite cup of coffee, sit back, and get ready to explore a world full of suspense and excitement. At one of New York's universities, our story begins with a student named Arthur, a quiet and reserved individual who is constantly bullied by a group of students known for their dominance. But things take an entirely unexpected turn when fate decides to give Arthur a chance for revenge. This story is not just about revenge, but about how injustice can turn a quiet person into someone whose actions cannot be predicted. We will take you on an exciting journey, full of events that unfold in an atmosphere of tension and surprise. I won't spoil the details for you, but I promise you will find yourselves engrossed in this story until the very last moment. If you are ready for this thrilling adventure, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell to receive all the latest updates, because my dream is to reach 100,000 subscribers this year, and I need your support. Also, don't forget to like the video and leave a comment sharing your thoughts about the story. Now, let's begin our thrilling story. At one of the universities in New York, in one of the classrooms, there was a student named Arthur. Arthur was not good-looking. He was somewhat ugly and was frequently bullied by other students, particularly by a group of students who were couples: Adrian, Eva, Adolf, Camelia, Ibrahim, and Sophia. These couples had been friends since the beginning of the university and had a relationship of love and friendship. Arthur was subjected to a lot of bullying from them. One day, the bullying intensified. Eva insulted him a lot, and her boyfriend Adolf poured juice on his face. This incident happened in the middle of the university square. Arthur was deeply hurt by what happened and wiped the juice from his face. All eyes were on him with disgust, feeling repulsed by his presence at the university. He was also not interested in studying but was very smart. However, he had no friends due to his appearance. After this incident, Arthur decided to take revenge on this group. He went home sad and sat thinking, growing increasingly angry. He said, "I will kill them all," and thought a lot about how to do this. Then an idea flashed in his mind, an idea so diabolical that no one could imagine it. He took his laptop and researched the idea and found it, but there was a problem. Arthur did not have the money. He thought about how to get the money and then called a friend, asking him to help. His friend did not know what he looked like. He only knew his name as they were internet friends only. He asked his friend to hack a credit card for him to buy plane tickets, and his friend indeed stole a card for him and gave it to him. Arthur then contacted Eva from a fake account and offered to sell her tickets at a very low price. He offered her 6 tickets. Eva was delighted when she read the message and told her friends, "Would you like to go on this trip with me?" They all agreed and packed their bags. When Arthur saw that they agreed, he also joined the trip. The trip was on a ship in the middle of the sea to visit an island in the Caribbean, and it was to last 7 days. They all boarded the ship, and Arthur watched from a distance. He then followed them and kept watching them from afar. The trip began, and they took adjoining rooms. Arthur took a room overlooking theirs. He kept a cap on his head to stay hidden in case one of them saw him. He watched them all day. On the second evening, they were all at a small pool on the ship, drinking alcohol, laughing and playing. Then Sophia went into one of the rooms alone. When Arthur saw her alone, he entered the room holding a knife. Sophia was stunned and screamed, begging him, "Please don't kill me, have mercy, forgive me, I don't want to die," and apologized a lot. But Arthur's anger did not allow him to forgive her. He approached her, put the knife on her neck, and cut the vein. blood gushed out, filling the room. Arthur felt great relief and happiness from what he saw. Suddenly the ship began to shake. Arthur was surprised by what was happening. It was a storm hitting the ship. Arthur was happy because this made his plan easier. He hid well in the room behind the door. Then Sophia's boyfriend, Ibrahim, entered and turned on the light. Arthur stabbed him in the back with a sharp knife. Ibrahim turned around to see Arthur, who then pushed him. But Arthur was stronger. He took out another knife, leaving the first one in Ibrahim's back, and stabbed him 3 times in the chest. Ibrahim died immediately. The room was filled with blood. The storm intensified. Arthur was confused about what to do with the bodies and the blood, so he decided to hide and wait for the rest of the group to come to the room. In the other room, the friends were gathered and missed Ibrahim and Sophia. Camelia decided to go see Sophia in her room. She knocked on the door but got no response. The door was slightly open. She opened it and entered, finding a knife at her neck. Arthur told her not to make a sound. Camelia started breathing heavily, terrified by the scene. Arthur turned on the light and asked her if she knew who he was. She said no, and when he revealed himself, she asked, "Arthur, why are you doing this? Why did you kill Sophia and Ibrahim?" Arthur told her she was next, then killed her and threw her into the room. Now there were 3 bodies piled up, and the room reeked of blood. Arthur was even more thrilled by taking revenge on them all and laughed hysterically. He then went behind the door to wait for Camelia's boyfriend to enter. He turned off the lights and waited. The friends in the other room noticed the absence of Camelia, Sophia, and Ibrahim. Adrian and Adolf went to Ibrahim's room. They smelled blood at the door. Adrian entered the room, and Arthur pounced on him, grabbing his neck and putting the knife to it. Adolf tried to flee, but Arthur closed the door and killed Adrian first, throwing him to the ground. He then attacked Adolf, stabbing him in the chest. Adolf hit Arthur with a vase on the head, causing Arthur to feel a slight dizziness. Arthur then got up and kicked Adolf's head, hitting him repeatedly until he took out the knife and stabbed him 4 times in the heart. Arthur then sat on the ground, feeling relieved and laughing maniacally. Eva heard the sound of a commotion in the room, and her curiosity piqued as she wanted to know what was happening. She stood up and saw blood seeping out from under the door, which filled her with fear. She tried to call for help from anyone on the ship, but everyone was scared of the storm. Eva hid in a nearby empty room, while Arthur waited for her in the designated room. He waited a long time, but Eva never showed up. As the storm intensified, Arthur decided to dispose of the bodies by throwing them into the sea. He carried the bodies and threw them off the ship one by one, then changed his clothes quickly and began searching for Eva. He opened several rooms but couldn't find her. Eva, terrified, hid in the bathtub of a bathroom, closing the curtain tightly. Arthur continued his search, opening rooms one by one, finding ordinary people, but not Eva. He found an empty room and suspected something, so he returned to search it thoroughly. He noticed signs of someone having sat on the bed and searched underneath but found nothing. He decided to check the bathroom, and hearing a faint sound, discovered Eva hiding in the bathtub. When he pulled back the curtain, Eva screamed loudly, and Arthur, in his rage, choked her to death. The next day, a neighbour reported hearing screams the previous night to the captain. Another witness also reported hearing screams from the room. The captain tried to contact the police, but the storm had cut off all communications. Thinking quickly, the captain consulted the passenger list and found a friend who was a detective. The detective, along with the captain and the witnesses, searched the rooms, finding bloodstains and signs of a struggle in 2 different rooms. The detective, suspecting foul play, checked the passenger registry and called everyone on board to gather in one place. he noticed that several passengers were missing: Eva, Camelia, Sophia, Ibrahim, Adolov, and Adrian. He ordered a search of their rooms and found no one. Suspecting the killer might be among the gathered passengers, the detective continued his search, finding wiped bloodstains in one of the rooms. This clue led him to identify Arthur as the culprit. The detective confronted Arthur with evidence, showing a blood-stained shoelace found in his room. Arthur, flustered and unable to explain, eventually confessed to the murders and broke down in tears. The detective restrained him, and they waited for the authorities. Once the storm subsided, the police arrived and took Arthur into custody, delivering him to justice. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, share the story with your friends, and leave a like and a nice comment so I can continue to post great videos. Love you all, Dora.